Ah, there you are. Sorry for cutting your reunion with General Ralbarn short. I wouldn't have bothered you, but the city's awash with rumours of another Dravanian attack, and Lord Haurchefant was desperate to get hold of you. Speaking of whom, he and the others are waiting for you inside, so you'd better head in. My friend, I thank you for answering our call with such alacrity. As I'm sure you are now aware, the Dravanians are once more gathering for war. Mistress, Master Levellier, I must apologise for this abrupt summons, but we thought it best to have Mistress Tataru contact you by the most direct means available. When the Observatorium's bells toll, 'tis a warning that cannot be ignored. The Holy See has ordered that we make ready for battle. In case you haven't heard, a band of trappers returning from the west claim they saw a cloud of dragons big enough to dim the midday sky. Needhog's minions gather once more for war. But I would not have you take up arms in another of our conflicts. When first you came to Ishgard, I offered you my protection. If I cannot ensure your safety here, I cannot well accept your aid, much less ask for it. Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you're faced with a choice, to remain in a besieged Ishgard or seek sanctuary elsewhere. I would not presume to influence your decision, but I must ask that you make it swiftly, lest our enemies force your hand. Though we flee to the ends of the world, 'twould seem that no place in this troubled age is free of strife. Once more the horde descends upon Ishgard, and once more her weary defenders must take up spear and bow. The Count would have us seek shelter from this storm, but I for one grow tired of running. If we're to shine the light of dawn, we must do so in the sight of our fellow man, not hunkered in a hole. What say you? I would stand and fight. Then fight we shall. Let it never be said that we abandoned our allies in their hour of need. The choice we make this day may have grave implications for our order. It's only right that Tataru should have a say. Come, let us all meet outside and discuss the path that lies before us.
Ishgard cannot well endure another assault. Even should her knights succeed in turning back the horde, the casualties will be catastrophic.
But what other choice do we have? It's not like we can talk it over with them. Dragons and men aren't exactly on speaking terms.
With certain notable exceptions.
You don't mean Iceheart?
When last you spoke with her, she lamented her crimes, did she not? Then there remains a sliver of hope. If we can persuade Iceheart to act as our intermediary, we may yet be able to convince Nidhogg to abandon his bloody course.
If there is to be a meeting, I would accompany you.
Estinian.
Even with your intermediary, Nidhogg's blood rage may render him deaf to reason. However, the mere attempt may afford our forces precious time to prepare. Of course, you might also consider a more direct approach to ending this conflict. With the power of the Eye at my disposal, and the vaunted strength of the Warrior of Light, we could conceivably slay the beast outright.
If we are to risk a face-to-face meeting with the Dread Worm, I for one would feel safer in the company of the Azure Dragoon. However, I should only turn to your alarms if my words failed to find their mark. Is that clear?
Perfectly. I shall assume that Iceheart enjoys similar diplomatic protection until instructed otherwise. A word of advice. Think carefully before divulging the particulars of this plan to Sir Emeric. 'Twould not do to have the Lord Commander accused of consorting with heretics.
Indeed. I thank you for your counsel, Estinian. We shall be honored to have you with us.
I am glad to be of service.
We have chosen a difficult road, yet even should we succeed in winning Iceheart to our cause, our plans for parley will swiftly come to naught should the Holy See decide to strike first against the Horde. We must petition the Lord Commander's aid ere we set forth. I only hope that Sir Aymeric will be willing to muzzle Ishgar's forces on the strength of our vague assurances. Tataru, I would ask that you remain at Fortemps Manor and inform the Count of our decision. Tell him that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn mean to do all in their power to ensure that Ishgard and her people survive. Yes, sir. You would speak with the Lord Commander? Pray make it quick.
I want the defenses of the Outer Ward rechecked. See to it that the ballistas are in good repair and supplied with enough ammunition for a prolonged siege.
At once, my lord.
Ah, 'twould seem I have visitors. And unlike those messing beyond our walls, these ones are welcome.
Pray forgive us for interrupting you in the midst of your preparations, Sir Aymeric, but our suit concerns the impending assault. To speak plain, we believe there is a chance the invasion might be halted before it even begins. I can divulge little more at this time, but I must nevertheless request that you advise the Holy See to refrain from launching any preemptive sorties whilst we seek to put our plans in motion.
I will gladly lend my support to any endeavor that could spare the blood of my countrymen, but I would know more of the cause you would have me champion. Will you not share aught of this mysterious undertaking?
Know that I have offered my lance to aid in this endeavor. I cannot claim that its success is assured, but our actions should serve to delay Nidhogg's advance at the very least. Which is more than can be said for the ill-conceived counterattack advocated by the sea's more vocal crusaders. They offer glorious death, but little hope of victory.
Aye, their proposal does not inspire confidence. Our resources should rightly be spent shoring up the city's defenses. The Azure Dragoon and the Warrior of Light sallying forth together to face the dread worm Nidhogg. I must admit the mere thought of it does much to dispel my misgivings. Go then, carry out your plan. I shall do what I can for you within the Holy See.
Having secured Sir Aymeric's support, we may proceed without fear of a preemptive Ishgardian attack, which is not to say we can afford to dither. History tells us that the Dravanians will attack as soon as their horde reaches a critical size. Before that happens, we must needs track down and win over the Lady Iceheart, and then locate and parley with Nidhogg. In short, time is against us. If you're ready, Estinian, let us be about our task.
Such commotion.
Yes, Your Eminence. The bells of the Observatorium warn of our enemy's approach.
So, the dragons are coming. Let them come, in their hundreds and their thousands. With the divine blade in our hands, we shall rend their flesh and drown the heretics in their master's blood. Even Nidhogg and his foul brood shall be powerless to resist us. And when we have rid the world of their pestilence, we shall turn our attention to our Ascian allies. See that they are suitably rewarded for their invaluable assistance.
If I may, Your Eminence, the Paragons wield powers strange and unknowable. Can we be certain that they will not see through our deception?
We can be certain of naught save the righteousness of our cause. If you would be a true leader of men, you must possess conviction as well as caution. We seek to excise the root of an evil that has blighted us for 1,000 years. The risk is worth the reward.
And what of Estinian and this Warrior of Light? They have plans of their own.
Leave them to their purpose. We must each play the role we have been given. You and your chosen brothers most of all.
For the glory of King Thordan.
Before we set forth, we must needs inform Tataru of our plans. Then I shall await you at St. Renet's Forum. Tell your friend we may be some time. The road you have chosen is neither short nor easy. Of that I need no reminding. Come, let us head back to Fortompt Manor. Our course is set, Tataru. It may be some time before we return to Ishgard. Well, just you be careful, alright? Oh, and don't worry about me. I'll be busy listening out for the news of our lost friends. If anyone can find them, it's you, Tataru. Farewell, for now. Oh, before you go, you must put this on now for now. I made it especially. No, I couldn't possibly... very well. By the 12, it fits perfectly, and the quality is actually rather good. I'm glad you like it. I've been practicing my needlework while I listen to rumours and the like. A good receptionist is always learning new skills. My thanks, Tataru. Whatever else awaits me upon the road, I shall not fear the cold. 'Twas the least I could do. Now I must be getting back to the tavern, or I'll never catch up with all the gossip. Best of luck on your journey. You've said your farewells, then? Aye, we're ready to depart. I suggest we begin our search for Lady Iceheart without delay. Very well, but she will prove an elusive quarry. Where do you intend to start looking? In the absence of any fresh intelligence on Izael's movements, I propose we pick up the trail where she was encountered last, the Coerthus Western Highlands. Let us speak with Sir Redwald, was it? As the commander of Falcon's Nest, it is like that he will know if any heretic activity has been reported in the area. Well, mistress, what business brings you to Falcon's Nest? Judging by the company you keep, it can be no trifling matter. The Azure Dragoon I know, of course, but I do not believe I've met this young gentleman. Alphonal Lavelier at your service, and you're not mistaken as to the gravity of our mission, Sir Redwald. As I'm sure you are aware, the Observatorium has warned that the Dravanians gather for another assault. We believe there may yet be a way to avert the coming conflict, but only if we can find the elusive Lady Iceheart. Thus we've come to Falcon's Nest, in the hope of acquiring the latest intelligence on the heretics' movements. I see. Then you would be best served by speaking directly to my men. Patrol is due to return from its sweep of the surrounding lands at any moment. You may also wish to question the knights, assigned to pick over the remains of the heretic refuge at Gorgang Mills. 'Tis possible they have unearthed information that could be of use to you. Mistress knows well the place I speak of, for it was she who first discovered it. Let us divide our forces then. I will stay and await the return of the patrol, while the two of you visit this refuge. When I've completed my inquiries, I will join you there. A wise use of our time. Come, I'm eager to learn what Sir Redwald's men have found in the heretic's lair. Mistress, our findings, you say? Well, there's something of a tale there. No sooner had we chanced upon a promising-looking sheaf of letters than we were ambushed from the shadows by great white beasts. 'Twould seem the heretics foresaw our coming, and left behind their pets to discourage further investigation. Several of our number were badly wounded. And you cannot carry out your duties until the creatures are slain. We've not the time to wait for reinforcements. Let us deal with those pets ourselves. The beasts are slain, then. My thanks, mistress. We may return to our duty without fear of a mauling. You wish to track down Lady Iceheart? Is this not so? The records we discovered ere those beasts mauled my comrades appeared to be some manner of correspondence. we had not the luxury of perusing their contents more closely, intent as we were on surviving an onslaught of fang and claw, but I'd wager those epistles contain more than friendly salutations betwixt lonely heretics. My interrogation of the patrol proved fruitless. Either we divine some clue from these letters, or we wander the snowfields and pray that the gods lead us right to Iceheart's door. 'Tis hardly a choice at all. Have you recovered much of the heretics' correspondence? Splendid. Added to the contributions from Mars de la Vellier and Sir Estinian, we now have more than a dozen letters. What have we here, then? Every one of these pages is a record of the dealings betwixt the Gorgang Mills heretics and their fellows in the Ak-Afar amphitheatre. There are requests for foodstuffs, clothing, and all manner of provisions. Iceheart's followers must yet inhabit the ruins we had thought abandoned. The Ak-Afar amphitheatre, the very place where you witnessed the manifestation of the primal Shiva, was it not? If that is our destination, the journey will be long indeed. The amphitheatre lies on the other side of a treacherous tract of ice and snow that cannot swiftly be crossed. Then we must place our faith in the Aethernet. As you may recall, our dear friend Moonbreeder succeeded in recreating the Ak-Afar beacon after it had been destroyed by Lady Iceheart. At the time, it was assumed that the resultant aetherite would only be temporarily viable, but given that the heretics of Gorgang Mills seem to have been in regular contact with their brethren at the amphitheatre, I'll wager it still functions. I suggest we make for the aetherite within Snowcloak without delay. Correct me if I'm wrong, Estinian, but in the course of mapping the Snowcloak tunnel system, a passage was discovered leading out into the Western Highlands, was it not? Might it be possible for us to reach the aetherite from this side of the wall? It should. House Durandare posted soldiers at the Western Highlands entrance after the tunnels were cleared, but they will not deny us entry. Ah, the guests of House Voltamp, accompanied by the Azure Dragoon no less. I cannot imagine what brought you out this far, but you're welcome to enter the tunnels if that is your will. Assuming the Ak-Afar beacon still functions, and we must pray to the 12 that it does, we shall arrive at our destination in mere moments. Though I do not expect to be greeted by the primal Shiva, we should nevertheless be prepared for a frosty reception. The heretics are not like to rejoice at the appearance of uninvited guests, particularly ones with our history. An impressive structure. I wonder how many ages it has endured. Mayhap you should ask its occupants. They seem a friendly bunch. Dogs of Ishgard, is it not enough that you banish our beloved saint? Will you not be satisfied until the ice is slick with the last drops of our blood? Stay your weapons. We come under the flag of parley. We wish only to speak with your mistress, that we might broker a peace. Do you think us fools, boy? It will take more than honeyed words to earn our trust. You walk with the Dragon Slayer, and we know all too well what he is capable of. My reputation precedes me. They give us little choice. Come, brothers, may dragon wings bear us to victory. They fight like demons. 'Tis death to remain. Fall back, brothers. Retreat to the cinders. I see no sign of Lady Iceheart. Would that we could have questioned one of them. What would you ask that we do not already know? They make for the cinders, and so must we. Even should an ambush await us, 'tis certain there will be more heretics to question. The cinders, you say? I confess the name is unknown to me. Mayhap you would be so good as to enlighten us, Estinian. I suspect it is the heretic's way of referring to the Dreaming Dragon, an island of sorts found in the midst of the frozen lake at Vashpool. Some 500 years past, 'tis told that the Azure Dragoon of the age fought a dragon of titanic proportions. After a savage struggle, the mighty creature was weakened unto the point of death, and forced into a magic slumber by an entire chapter of the Holy Sea's sorcerers. Ere long, a rain of ash and cinders did begin to fall upon the sleeping serpent's motionless form, covering the creature at length in a shroud of grey. Of course, a thick layer of ice has since formed on top of it, but you may be sure I speak true. A fascinating tale. We should make haste to this ashen isle. The Dreaming Dragon lies far to the west. Before we approach the Frozen Beast, however, there is another place I would visit first. I am told that convictors have set up camp in Twin Pools. Their leader, Jean-Talot, may have information of use to us. But mayhap you are not familiar with that name either. The convictors are dragon slayers, after a fashion, but I'm willing to wager that they encounter their fair share of heretics. If we're indeed walking into a trap, I would learn all there is to know of our foe. A sound suggestion. Let us speak with these convictors then, and temper our haste with a measure of caution. Well, well, what do we have here? Hoping to join the esteemed ranks of the convictors, are we? The hard-eyed lass looks promising, but you have a frail look about you, boy. I give you 3 days ere the wilds claim your corpse. I beg your pardon? Be not so quick to judge. I have seen this frail youth fell heretics with a flick of his wrist. Who are you to question my... by the fury? That armour, that lance, the Azure Dragoon himself graces our camp. Pray forgive my disrespect, sir. I am Jean-Talot, leader of the convictors and fellow slayer of dragons. May I ask what winds, fair or foul, carry you into our humble camp? Ah, Lady Iceheart, is it? Aye, I know her by reputation, but I'm afraid I've seen naught of her or her people. That said, my own men can be, somewhat lax when it comes to making reports. You may wish to question them yourselves. Thank you, we shall. Let us make our way through the camp and see what information there is to be had. Surely one of these people will have encountered heretics while out hunting. Pray speak with as many as you can. Something I can help you with, milady? Heretics, is it? Well, I've never seen one myself, but that ain't to say I haven't heard a thing or two. We would be grateful for any information you can share with us. The gods know we've gleaned precious little from talking to the rest of these people. If it please, my lord, I'm Pierre Riquet, a soldier by trade, though not much of one if I'm honest. It weren't for the love of stabbing folk that I took up the spear, see? No, it's by order of Sir Jean-Talot's father. Still, as long as they keep paying me wages, I ain't fussy as to what they have me do. Not everyone's as patient as me, though. Plenty of low-born lads who got pressed into service start grumbling before they've seen their second battle. And once they've got to thinking how unfair it all is, it don't take much for the heretics to turn their heads. From what I hear, the simple promise of freedom tends to do it. That may explain how Lady Iceheart was able to expand her following so swiftly. Sad to say, some mates of mine gobbled down the heretics' tripe and asked for seconds, told me they were off to the Western Highlands to light a signal fire. That's how you let the heretics know you're serious about joining their ranks, apparently. Send up some purple smoke and the bastards come to you. Is that so? Why then, I'm minded to start a fire. If we're to lure our foes to our position, then we must find a means of producing a signal of purple hue. As it so happens, I once heard the tale of a trapper who dropped the hide of a woolly yak onto his campfire. Aside from the terrible stench, the story also described in detail how the smoke from the smothered flames was tinged a deep violet. You're a monster hunter of some note, are you not? It should prove a trifling task for you to procure a number of hides. We may need to burn more than one ere the heretics notice our beacon. Master Alphenau, you and I shall gather wood for the fire. Aye, it will take the both of us to find enough dry fuel in this frozen wasteland. Let us meet again at the Dreaming Dragon with the fruits of our labour. 'Twould seem that collecting firewood is a new experience for Master Alphenau. He must have had a privileged upbringing. Have you the hides we need?
Ah, I should have known it would be you. Word reached me of a struggle with a small but well-armed band of trespassers. Forgive my comrades their hostility. Few come here uninvited, and fewer still with good intent. Now, tell me why you are here.
We wish to stop the attack on Ishgard.
So, you seek to stem the Dravanian tide with talk? A romantic notion. If you but knew the truth, the spark which lit the flames of this animosity, you would understand the futility of your quest. Shall I relate it to you? The sordid history my gift has shown me. That which the Holy See has taken such pains to suppress. 'Twas more than a millennium past when an Elezen tribe first sought to claim the lands of Kurthas as its home. Unfortunately for them, Kurthas was already home to dragonkind, and they were not inclined to make way for the invaders. Thus did a bloody war begin. A war which might well have rumbled on until one or the other side was exterminated, had it not been for the resolve of a single woman. That woman's name was Shiva. While those around her fought and died, she attempted to parley with the dragons, and in so doing discovered them to be possessed of profound intelligence and reason. The great worm, Hraesvelgar, in particular so enchanted Shiva that she found herself growing to love the creature, whom her people considered a monster. In the eyes of a near-immortal dragon, however, the fleeting life of an Elezen is as that of a freshly cut rose. Scarce has the flower bloomed before it begins to fade and wither. Such melancholy musings plagued Hraesvelgar, who had found in Shiva an unexpected and beloved soulmate. He knew that all too soon, death would snatch her away from him. Unable to bear the thought of their separation, the maid bid the worm consume her, that their spirits might be entwined for eternity. Though loath to perform the deed, Hraesvelgar ultimately gave in to her plea, and soon thereafter the tale of their ill-fated love spread throughout the two warring factions. No more could they raise blade or claw against one another, knowing that the souls of their kin were so inextricably bound. In the days that followed, man and dragon learned to live in harmony, and together built a nation unlike any the world had ever known. For 200 years did this blissful age of peace continue, as it would to this day, had vilest envy not stirred in the hearts of the Elezen. It is said that worms owe their longevity to the boundless reserves of vitality found within their eyes. And 'twas in this belief that a traitorous band of knights deceived their allies of some 2 centuries, and took by force that which they coveted. Nidhogg, he who now stands poised to unleash his wormlings upon Ishgard, was the great dragon who lost an eye to Elezen treachery. And until he prizes it from the hands of the traitor's progeny, no amount of conciliatory words will stay his fury.
You are wrong, Lady Iceheart. Lest you misunderstand, I do not doubt your vision of the past. 'Tis true that Nidhogg greatly desired to reclaim the Eye. Indeed, it was for that very reason that I kept it with me as I roamed the land, attempting to draw him away from the city.
Good gods!
Until recently, Nidhogg seemed unable to resist its allure and pursued me relentlessly. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. Now, it would seem, he has fixed his attention on Ishgard itself, though he knows full well the Eye does not reside there.
You believe he targets the capital for another reason?
I believe reason has all but left him. Through the Eye, I feel much of what Nidhogg feels, and the dragon's thirst for vengeance will not be quenched by aught less than a sea of blood.
If Nidhogg is indeed lost to reason, might we not seek an audience with Hraesvelgr instead? He has thus far shown no inclination to aid in the invasion of Ishgard, and may yet welcome our efforts to broker a peace.
You still believe that a peaceable solution can be found? Very well. I will take you to him. Our road will lead us to Dravania, the homeland of dragonkind. There we shall ascend unto the clouds, where Hraesvelgr resides.
Is aught amiss, my friend? I sense the many battles are beginning to take their toll. Rest a while, and should you lose sight of us, Dravania lies beyond the mountains to the west.
Curious. The vestiges of thy mistress's blessing are not as faint as once they were. Thy will to succeed grants thee unusual fortitude. But will it be enough?
Pray address me as Izael, if you wish. 'Tis passing strange, is it not, that fate should bring us together thus? Never did I think to walk alongside the warrior of light. But history is full of such unexpected alliances. Shall we make our way into Dravania, then? The chill of the western highlands is unrelenting, and I would sooner be under the sheltering canopy of the Chocobo forest.
Beyond Abalathia's spine, the great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som-Al, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
We now stand on the threshold of Dravania. The path to Som-Al will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest's branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead, and see that we are properly provisioned? There's a village here, but I thought these lands the sole domain of dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in such a perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Master Chomp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival, and he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections. Only to this ceaseless chatter. If we're to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do it before Ishgard burns. Well, tan my hide and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Oh, and if it ain't the lovely Izael, it's been too long, girl. That it has, Master Chomp, thus it has. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Som-Al. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while and prepare for the next leg of our journey? Of course, stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bother us? Did Isael not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering Calum trees all about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And as you'd expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere, and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. Now, I know it won't stop Isael here, but dragons ain't the only thing you'll need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're set on heading west. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you, the bloody Narth. They're what you might get if you crossed an antling with a megalo crab and taught the thing how to walk on 2 legs. They never used to stray far from their hives out of fear of the dragons. They've gotten a lot more aggressive of late, sending out war parties for Marms in all directions. They've even taken to harassing the Dravanians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. And when they venture into the forest, which is more and more by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'd be closer to the Narth's home territory. It would seem that much has changed in Dravania. The Narth were not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here, in Dravania? Aye, 'twas in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone, and I had fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That was when I chanced upon FFXIV. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of the majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Master Chomp found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees and nursed me back to health, and in Tailfeather I remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals. But I interrupted you. You were saying these Narth were once a peaceful people. Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They're a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They've changed then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush on some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Som Owl and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path, then. Very well. Let us first follow the trail west out of the forest and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there we should have a fair view of the road that leads to Som Owl, shall we? Should we chance to meet Master Chomp again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the Narth, I doubt I would be standing here. Amid ruins that I would tentatively describe as Ishgardian, the style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alphanel. This structure is in fact over 1,000 years old. It's a remnant of the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this as evidence of our harmonious past. I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honour of your Dravanian masters. This rubble inspires no such awe in me. Stubborn fool, how desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threatened the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Pray reason with these two. The truth of the past will be revealed. Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in her gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Justinian. You would have me keep counsel until her visions confirm the truth? Very well, but bait me not. Our meeting with FFXIV will likely provide the catalyst her gift requires, as it did mine. Let us press on. Spy you the 3 great towers to the west. Ishgardians know them as Annick's Shrine. The place serves as a roost for FFXIV's lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Som Owl, then we must first beseech these dragons to open the way, but do not be disheartened, the one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concern is the disposition of the Narth. Let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. 'Tis as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Narth soldiers. Master Chomp did not exaggerate then. These beastmen have grown brazen, indeed, if they would threaten the dragon so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray they do not. Mighty though my Dravanian friends are, they're yet vulnerable to the Narth's muskets. There is no route save the one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. I take no pleasure in killing the Narth. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you on this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. And keep your lance on your back, dragoon. On my word to the Warrior of Light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come then.
Vidofnir!
Ah, 'tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Nath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight. Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sires will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Hrisvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here, and protect my kin from the Nath's god.
The Nath have summoned a primal.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed? 'Tis beyond thee, mortal. But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
So the Nath have summoned their god, and thus is the mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva to further mine own ends. I desired her strength only to forge anew the peace between man and dragon. But what a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought or compunction. Enough! Enough, I say! If the Nath have truly brought forth a deity from the Aether, we must face it together or watch our hopes fall apart. All now rests upon this primal's defeat. But ere we think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies. You're right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Master Chomp. He knows more of the Nath and their culture than most. Oh, back already, are we? Met the Nath, did you? And what is it you'd like to... Summoned a primal, you say? 7 hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about Nath religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their trading habits, there never seemed much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here, outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. And what exactly would a Nath consider to be the right incentives? Oh, nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two, but seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You'll want a good-sized jar of land-trap nectar, a basket of Calum tree fruit, and, always a Nath favourite, a generous portion of young Nanka flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches of these forest giants should present little challenge to me. Then I shall collect the nectar with Master Alphanal's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meat. You'll need to carve it from the small Nankas that live in the rivers. 3 big hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I'll mark the spot on the map for you. You've been most kind, Master Chomp. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nanka egg. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without Izel's help. Do you have the Nanka meat? Splendid. I shall put this with the Stinian's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Nath. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings at the trading post as instructed. Were I of the Nath, I think I would be suitably impressed. Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourself, Master Alphanal. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents. Land trap nectar, Calum tree fruit, and Nanka flesh. What delectable foods you've brought for us. Our meagre existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters, come to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it is not far. Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak to our chosen leader in words, for we are Varth. We are the non-mind. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You've brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honoured Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home, and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I are come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone? What strange hunters you are. But if it's words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Varth, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the tale of the Narf's god, of the god of the One Mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind? These are the Narth who reside in the main colony. Yes, they are one, connected, but let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren, and with spear and spell and musket, the dragon was slain. 'Twas likely one that had fled battle with my kinsmen. I should commend you for finishing the job. Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground, but no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Dravanian was easy prey. Thus did the Overmind decide to heed the words of the black-robed men. The One Mind would call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Dravanian lands would become Narth lands, and even larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. We of the Vath despise and revile his insatiable existence. I call upon the power of a primal for the greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at grave cost to the land. I reason that it is a necessary evil, and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Narth. They summon their deity for no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a scion of the Seventh Dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Not so the Narth, as you rightly put it. If they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alphanal, a being of whom we know naught. Has it occurred to you that you may be sending the Warrior of Light to her death? No, You have the right of it, Estinian. 'Twould seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me. I do not fear my duty. Wait, she need not face this foe alone. Like her, I am blessed with the Echo's protection and may do battle without fear of primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Ha! Do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know not where this god resides or how to challenge it, unless you mean to pray until it appears. Estinian makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vath and learn how best to secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, I may be of assistance. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth.